Great weather we're having. Hopefully, the longer it lasts, the better. Right, in reference to this morning's threats to Carlow Schools. Of course, the natural reaction of every occupant in Ireland will be to point the finger at Ireland's growing right-wing movement. Because for some reason or other, over the past couple of years, media guarantee the dictatorship that's only known to you as the government of Ireland always points the fingers at the right-wing movement of Ireland. And as a natural reaction, of course, you, an occupant in this country that's governed by a dictatorship, will point the finger at what you have heard all along, which is referred to as Ireland's right-wing movement. I'm on this planet since 1962. It's now 2026. The only things, in my opinion, with wings, during my youth, during my childhood years, and now in my senior adult years, the only things with wings, in my opinion, are birds and planes. So right, getting back to this morning's threats to Carlow Schools. The right-wing movement of Ireland will get the blame, as they have got the blame for everything else over the past couple of years. But little do people realise that the employees of these schools are also part of Ireland's participants in Ireland's dictatorship. Who's to know if they did or did not orchestrate this stunt of threats to Carlow Schools so that they could achieve time off during these hot spells. None of you know that. So therefore you just can't jump to conclusions and blame Ireland's right-wing movement, growing right-wing movement. Nor can you say to or from whether it was the employees of these schools that orchestrated amongst themselves so that they could achieve time off to put the threats to these Carlow Schools. No one knows. But of course, the right-wing movement will get the blame. Right, guys, I'm going to tell you something here now. The cause of Ireland's problems since 1919, right through to 2026, you don't hear too many occupants of Ireland making reference to that. Why? Because the majority of them are afraid, scared, and live in fear of those attempting to govern Ireland, which are known to the population as the government of Ireland. But folks, that's only a disguise for the de facto dictatorship of Ireland. It's time that you pointed your finger at them for the cause of every problem. Across the country, lengthy queues waiting for hospitals, sick children not receiving the attention they require. Not alone that, but you people are funding this dictatorship. And yes, they do exist in your own counties. We'll even put it like this. Employees of any government department within your counties, they are participants in this dictatorship. You, the taxpayer of Ireland, remain funding a dictatorship. You don't have any problem funding immigrants coming into the country. Non-working, non-EU immigrants coming into this country in recent years either. But yes, you have no problem jumping online when an incident such as this morning's happened, pointing the finger and blaming and accusing the right-wing movement of Ireland. On the other hand, you're afraid to say anything about the so-called government of Ireland that's treating you like dirt most of your lives and will remain doing so until you, the occupants of Ireland, decides that you've had enough and decide to do something about it. Since 1870, and this is a pet peeve of mine all my life, since 1870 to this very, very day, the 27th of the 5th, 26, there never has been a political representative elected by the public of Ireland. I could even show you the proof of this. That's the research and studying that I have done on it throughout my lifetime. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in any position to say it. So take it from one that knows. Since 1870, right through to 2026, there never has been a political representative elected by the public on this throughout this country due to uncounted votes exiting public sight overnight. You don't seem to complain about that, but you complain about everything else, and you have no problem complaining about the growing right-wing movement of Ireland. This right-wing movement of Ireland might indeed be an awful lot, prove to be an awful lot better than the cunts that you've had attempting to govern you since 1919. Under the disguise of the government of Ireland, that in reality are a de facto dictatorship. So there's no point. We all have a tendency, including myself, to complain about this, that and the other. But I never thought I would never make the following words towards my own fellow countrymen and women. No doubt about it, and it would be known worldwide, we are a fierce, gullible, naive population. And that's the way the rest of the world looks upon us. Allowing a dictatorship for over 100 years to attempt govern Ireland and its people without any confrontation or challenge. Of course, it's a laughing stock all over the world. Not alone are you allowing them to govern you, but you're also funding them. You're even funding the new occupants without any hassle or anything else. But keep doing it, guys, because at the end of the day, you, the occupants of Ireland, will remain struggling for as long as you allow this so-called government of Ireland to remain in existence. If that's the life you want, there's no point to be talking here, because it'll fall on deaf ears. By all means, remain allowing the dictatorship and its members that exist in all 26 counties to remain attempting to govern you. Because I honestly can't see in my lifetime the occupants of Ireland doing anything about the country's governance or the way political representatives are elected. So just don't be jumping to conclusions about Ireland's right-wing movement when you don't have your facts right. As I said before, and I will again, and I will finish on this note, who's to say that the employees of these schools in County Carlow did not orchestrate amongst themselves so that they could achieve time off to send these threats to Carlow Schools? You don't know that. I don't know that. Nor do we know at this stage in time But of course they're going to get the blame, and the finger will be pointed by all occupants of Ireland, including those that's attempting to govern us, that it was the right-wing movement of Ireland. The likes of that has to change, guys, if you want to achieve better lives and do something about the dictatorship that has taken serious advantage of you down through the decades and will remain doing so until the people of Ireland rise up and decides to evict this dictatorship. Okay guys, have a good day.